The scenario. Here. I like being in the chair too.
Scenario.
Yeah. Baby, you
The
know what it
scenario.
is. You what? Fucking all these stupid
scenario.
kids. You know what we do. Welcome everybody to another episode of Here's the Scenario, your new favorite podcast, a hypothetical-based podcast where we do what ifs, would you rathers, different scenarios that you send to us, and we answer it in probably a funny way, and so or sometimes we trail off and talk about
Sometimes a tragic way.
sometimes a tragic way. I am one of your hosts, Brendan Sagalow, being joined with me as always
By Mike Cannon and also
Mike Feeney.
hell fucking yeah, dude.
I
I
just
feel
wanna-
good.
You're getting better
got a
every
new
time. We
confidence,
got to get
man.
you to make eye contact with the
No,
camera because you've been looking at your.
I look down or I close my eyes.
Listen, that's when things complicate themselves.
Yes,
let's
yes.
let him focus on the words.
Exactly.
Stare down.
Exactly.
He literally was like, and your
Yeah, no, I'm
favorite
looking
new
at the-
podcast. It's like someone's pinching him under the table.
I gotta tell you guys, and the only place to catch Mike Feeney and Mike Cannon now.
That's right.
There is
Yeah.
no other. I was listening to the last.
Welcome to the graveyard of Irish Goodbye podcast.
Yeah, where we spit on its grave. I was listening to it while playing basketball, and I was working out probably harder than I have ever when I played basketball.
Mm-hmm.
And I just felt so euphoric listening to you guys reminisce about the show.
It was cathartic,
It
right?
was so cathartic. What Feeney said about, you.
Did it make you uncomfortable or did you feel?
No, I felt great because I wasn't there.
Yeah.
And it was a.
Directed at me, I was both so shocked,
I know.
surprised, taken
He was
aback.
guarded, I would say.
I was totally guarded. I was like, it was nipping at me like
My favorite is
like emotional piranhas.
my favorite is when I got done and you just were like, yeah, I mean, you too, everything. I'll die for you. I don't know.
I couldn't reiterate it. I was like, I'll see you Wednesday. I don't know, man. I need to focus.
I was so disappointed that you didn't have like a list or anything, like a not a
statement?
list, just like a written statement. 'Cause
About what?
Feeney, about how much you love your friend, possibly.
But I do, and I've told them that.
Because Feeney,
Mine doesn't have to come out at the end of things.
I know.
Mine comes out
well, you
every
and I,
day.
you and I are both emotional Emilys.
That's right. Feeney is an emotional kinked hose when it finally gets unkinked.
I get everybody wet.
Spills all over my tits.
I know, and it made me emotional listening to. I was like, wow, this really is an end of an era, and
And the beginning of an empire.
and a beginning of an empire. I
Guys,
think-
Amber Alert.
Amber Alert.
BMW.
Oh my
in
God.
2002.
530i.
Missing kid with chipped nail polish, green and black, in a light blue undersized shirt. Will do anything for a lollipop.
Undersized. You think this is undersized?
I mean,
But what else? I like that. I like to picture you like getting more excited at playing basketball,
Yeah.
listening to it.
well, I was listening to it and I was getting excited and I was laughing because it really like kept me out of the zone of what I was doing and put me in that room with you guys.
Yeah.
It was
where you
like
wish you were.
it might have been the best last episode of a podcast I've ever listened to.
Hey.
It was like so good.
Appreciate that.
So we're happy to get these new listeners who, for some reason, just for the longest time, didn't come to this show.
Yeah.
Which I can only think is my fault.
Most people
Yeah.
have said, I'll check out that other show, whatever it is, but I won't. I've had to send
Check out
direct.
what's the scenario.
I've sent direct links to everybody who's
Yeah.
expressed interest. But we have gotten a lot of people tweeting at us and messaging us. So thank you, everybody who did. And we're glad that it meant a lot to you. And, again, that's the kind of the good thing about if you sign up for the Patreon is that we do a lot more. Like this show is kind of more regimented, but on the Patreon, we're a lot more, kind of how Irish Goodbye was.
Storytelling-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
And we can
loose.
incorporate more of that into it.
We got
now that-
everything on the Patreon, and if you're also a Patreon member, let's thank them right now. Let's thank the new Patreon member. We'll do that
Yeah.
on the show, but we got a fucking influx. As soon as you guys ended, what's its name? And
The show that made you?
Yeah. The show that gave you a broadcasting career?
Yeah.
Yeah, the show
Oh,
that
I also
gave me a
liked your
platform.
little thing. That was very nice of
Yeah,
you to
yeah.
say.
Well, it's
We
hard
taught
to
him how to podcast.
I think that's true, man. I really do think that's true. And Real Ass Podcast taught me how to not to hate myself, I guess.
Yeah. Realize Podcast taught me to not check the comments.
Yeah.
But it hurts so good.
And in that week, we got 16 new Patreon members. Everybody's fucking digging it. They're into it. They're really excited. We're excited in return.
People are jumping over as they listen. So the more that listen to that final episode as the days progress, the more that we'll jump over. And everybody is digging what we're doing because we're doing 2 bonus episodes per week. Plus, we got all the additional content
So
that we're
much
all
content.
doing solo that goes there early, exclusive sneak peek to you guys. And then on top of that, we have exclusive shows for our Patreon, all by the squad. It's us 3, in front of the camera. And then we got Lucas, who's fantastic. And we have Nicole, who's editing up a storm. And
On the ones and
crushing-
twos.
We got a
Crushing
great
shit
fucking
right now.
team going on.
And
Both of them are unbelievable. We're very lucky to have them, and we're excited for how things are going to be turned up.
And I have
Hell
a
yeah.
question for you guys, or Brendan specifically.
Yes?
What's the scenario?
Here's the scenario, and this is coming from Muthani. Again, if you guys if you guys want to send us questions, do it onto the Patreon, the Instagram page. Follow that and send all the questions there.
All of that stuff is at here'sthescenario.com. So
Yeah.
if you want to find the podcast on any platform or us, here'sthescenario.com is the place. It's the
Bing, bing, boom.
And I like this question from Muthani as a first question. It's nice ease into the whole fucking show. What is a guilty pleasure food of ours? I mean, let's get it all out of the way now. Let's get all these fat jokes out of the way now.
I'm not, because this is a different question.
I'm not getting it out of the way.
No, I have more, and it'll constantly stack. But I like the burgers.
Yes.
But do you feel guilty after you eat a burger?
I feel
Shake Shack, yeah, because you get that real full.
Dep-
Real full.
because I'll go through I'm so addicted to it, but I'll have like stretches where I haven't had a burger in like 2 weeks, and then I have one and I'm like, this felt good. I'll also have one after 2 weeks and I go,
It's like tapping into an old hole that healed. You're like, oh, look, the veins back together.
Yeah, I'm in that Minetta alley just like fucking, with like a burger.
Mac
all over
sauce on your tits.
Guilty pleasure food.
I think for me, all of the bad food I eat, the Burger King, that's all guilty pleasure because I always feel guilty after eating it.
I guess, and I feel like this isn't, I don't know how guilty I feel about it, but I mean, really ice cream, especially like I'll get the Haagen-Dazs chocolate peanut butter one, and it's just like this like high quality, decadent peanut butter, rich, creamy chocolate. It's just like, and then it took everything in me to not eat the whole thing in one sitting, and I managed to get in 2 sittings, and it was impressive.
Yeah, I mean, ice cream isn't a guilty pleasure of mine. It's like a dreadful pleasure.
Yeah.
Because I'm wildly lactose intolerant, but I will stuff ice cream up my ass any chance I get, and it's just a countdown till I'm sick.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a pleasure at all.
No,
Yeah.
it is a full
Guilty nightmare.
blown Dude, it's like a protest water hose.
Anything with like Oreos in it is like a guilty thing of mine because I'll get like an Oreo, I'll get that like 3-sleeve Oreo thing that's supposed to last 2 weeks and
Right.
I eat it in the night.
Have you got? Do you have Aldi near you, or have you gone to Aldi's? It's a grocery store. It's kind of like discount everything.
No.
So it's in suburban New York. I'm pretty sure it's national, but who knows? But they have. So I've had like bootleg Oreos my whole life. My grandmother used to get them, and they were like chalk chocolate bricks with shit in the middle of them. They were awful. And the only good ones that I've ever tasted are the Aldi knockoff of Oreo, and they're named like Oreos or whatever.
Oh,
And it's
I
in the
have had those.
Dude, it's in the same exact blue and red pouch with the peel back and the reseal, and they are fucking. They throw 110-mile-per-hour smoke fastball. They are so fucking good. And I'm like, I'll have 2, and I eat them dry, and I'm like, well, I gotta wash it down, and then I just sleeve.
I mean, I gotta just clap for Oreos because for years you've done nothing but make amazing food.
The white fudge covered
white fudge.
chocolate, or no, that's a guilty pleasure. 'cause
The
that's-
mini Oreos?
The mini one,
Covered in
the
white
white fudge
fudge?
covered one. That's because those are like you pop them like buttons. You're just like bop, 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 bop.
So Feeney had those at his apartment.
Up and button.
Yeah,
Feeney would have those at
popping Brendan's buttons.
of course. Feeney would have. I don't know how
I
you.
just picture Brendan eating an Oreo.
Yeah.
I just
Just
look,
ricochet. It hits the Oreo before it hits his mouth.
I look like Ben Stiller at the end of
Dodgeball.
Dodgeball. Yeah. I don't know how you fucking don't eat that whole bag in one sitting because I got that.
Willpower.
It's not willpower.
crazy.
It's sociopath.
It's self-control.
dude.
Here's what
Not
I do because
self-control.
they'll.
It's a challenge to your wants.
Yeah.
Like you don't have control. I know what you're doing.
That's the most control.
You're
Yeah.
suppressing it with evil. With evil.
So I'll go like this. I'll go. So a serving size. Get ready for this.
Yeah.
A serving size is 8 of those, which is I think the first 22 seconds. So I always go over the serving size. Yeah.
They're so fucking
wait,
good.
the ones that look like buttons.
The one that I gave to you when you were high at my house and you said this is the greatest thing I've ever had and then
Yeah.
closed your eyes and enjoyed it quietly for a moment.
Everyone.
If they're not a sponsor of this goddamn show,
Yeah. I don't know about you guys, but every once in a while something will taste so good that I hear music.
Yeah.
yeah.
Or like it'll just take you to another place where I'm just looking at like a lake with trees.
But here's
I'm
how
on
I did
the
it.
astral plane of Beverly
So,
Hills Ninja.
how do you do it?
In the beginning, so I'll tell you about the Oreos and the Haagen-Dazs.
Whatever. Cut me off again. Now I got to fight two of you. It used to be one.
So I'll start digging, and that's is like kind of the first couple minutes is kind of like as much as you can get in, you know? You're not keeping count. And then at some point I start doing the math and I go, I've definitely had more than 10, right?
Yeah.
So then the way I think about it is I'm going to grab. You never bring the bag with you where you're going to sit. You
Now
take
that's
the amount
the
you
key.
want. So you go, I've eaten a good amount standing by the microwave where these are. So now I'm going to take an additional 5, close the bag, walk away. And then you have to tell yourself when you want to go back for more, you're like, but if I finish the bag, I'm not going to have them tomorrow. And that's what I had to do with the Haagen-Dazs. So I actually did the Haagen-Dazs. I ate 60% of it first try. Second try, I got down to like 5%. There was like 2 spoonfuls left, and I went, I'm gonna be mad I don't have this tomorrow. So then I put that away and ate a coconut ice pop instead. And then the next day I was like, I'm gonna finish this. And Erica goes, why the fuck? How did you leave just this amount in there? And I go, because I wanted just a taste.
See, this
just
is what
a
I
taste.
do the opposite, where I'm like, I don't want this anywhere near me tomorrow.
Yeah.
I'm going to eat the whole thing. I eat
Exactly.
the whole thing, then I buy a new one tomorrow.
I know. I cover my hand in white fudge
Oh,
until
dude.
it's like
And for that,
Put 'em in the
I
fridge,
say,
too, then.
I'm
Very
going to take a fistful, right? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a fistful, and that's going to be it. But then I'll take 3 more as the tax to
yes
eat while I'm walking.
yes, yes. This is for the road.
These are my road sodas. This is what I eat when I get there.
Honestly, Feeney's apartment is like the Willy Wonka factory for everything I like. Like
Yeah.
every food you have, the pops, the coconut pops,
Dogs,
the-
love, stability.
yeah.
Guitars,
Yeah, guitars, computers.
no roommates,
Roommates.
functioning Wi-Fi.
I don't
An
know what you're
elevator,
saying. I'm
an
trying to
elevator.
find another fucking question.
Outdoor space.
Look,
Barbecue.
I'm working on it. Okay?
Plants.
I'm working on my life. Okay?
Balcony to jump off of.
Club soda.
Yeah, everything.
Black cherry club soda.
Oh, fuck off.
Every time he walks in, he's like, hey, what's going on? Can I grab a club soda real quick?
Yes.
Now I got a new thing I'm doing. I always keep a jug of iced tea and a jug of lemonade in there, and I make my own Arnold Palmer per thing, which is a nice high drink later in the night. If you're like, I want a snack, but I don't have any snacks, this is a good, like, sweet, it kind of hits that.
I don't know what this is, but every single time I have an Arnold Palmer, I'll look in the mirror after, and my jowls have grown 4
Well,
feet.
are you drinking
probably
Arizona
sugar.
iced teas?
No. I
No,
just
the
eat
Crystal
no
Light
whipping.
ones is no sugar.
This isn't reality. I'm not saying that my face
Maybe it
actually
is.
expanded that much. I'm saying that my body dysmorphia feels, processes all the sugar, and then it comes out in my eyes.
Oh my god. I absolutely love going to the bodega down the street, getting a fucking tall can of Arizona iced tea and some Dunkaroos.
I've had Dunkaroos
how
since
you
they
eat
came back. They're not great.
Sometimes.
The crackers are not as
They're
good.
not as good.
They're not nearly as
They're
good. The cookie-
smaller.
Yeah, and they're also like wafery more. They're more like dry.
I would-
I like the crackers with the cheese stick.
I used to have that a lot.
Yeah, me
I want a whole
I
jar
used
of
to rob
Dunkaroos.
kids like you, dude.
Rob me?
Yeah, any kid, because my parents wouldn't get me that shit, so I used to steal crackers and cheese from kids.
Did you know the first time I ever got suspended from school was I was in
I'm not
second
past
grade.
that. Sorry,
Okay.
I'm not. I don't even know how you. Because I would see something more of like if someone had it and I didn't. The way to ruin that kid who's got the crackers and cheese is you just put your finger into the crackers. Because once they're all broken, you can't spread it. There's nothing
I've
to
done
do with
that
it.
before.
You just go.
Knuckle.
Yeah.
Now nobody gets crackers. Enjoy your little cheese, flakes.
I like licking my fingers, getting dust, and mixing.
What kind of cheese is that? I wonder.
Not
It can't
cheese.
be.
It can't be.
Yeah.
It can't be cheese.
It's probably what the plastic that holds the cheese and crackers is made of. It's just yellow.
It's the German nachos.
Yeah.
All right, let's move
What
on.
were you saying about second grade?
Oh, I got suspended in second grade for a day because I was
Another knife to school?
No.
Oh.
That would come later. I was stealing money and I was stealing money and snacks from kids' lunch
Second
boxes.
grade.
I know.
I've never even heard of a second grade tough guy like that.
Who would
crazy.
steal 36 lunches? Sagalow's behind the bus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He just got all the lunch pails. He's just cracking into all of them, taking thermoses out.
And I do it again.
Yeah, Brendan, the little thermos monster of Long Island. The thermos monster of Syosset.
Okay, let's move on because we got a lot of questions here. This one comes from 2121 Trumbull.
Is that their address?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Trumbull's in Connecticut.
Yep.
This is Feliz Domingo Los Woozy y Amigos.
Okay.
Jeremy Piven's new podcast is called How You Livin', Jay Piven. If you all were douchebags and you wanted to signal that through the name of your pod, what would it be called? What would we call this podcast if we were all
No, your own
douchebags?
solo pod.
My own solo.
Yeah.
I would probably call it the Stupid Little Podcast. That's a nice deep cut.
Joe List always said that this would be a good name for my podcast, but I like as soon as I heard it, I shivered a little bit. Cannon Potter.
That's great though.
Cannon Fodder.
Canon
Plus
Podcast Potter.
It's too much.
I would call mine, and I know this is like I'm saying that I'm douchey because I use it as my Twitch name, but I would call it Sags to Riches: The Life and Times of Brendan Sagalow.
That long. That is a douche thing to have a long podcast name.
Yeah. The Life and Times of Brendan Sagalow.
There was that good show, The Life and Times of Tim.
Yeah,
on
that was
HBO.
a good show.
Actually, you know what? Cannon Blast. or Blast from a Cannon.
That sounds like porn.
Yeah.
Feeney is starting a solo podcast on the Patreon. What are you going to call it, douchebag?
I'm going to call it...
You are wildly creative.
Yeah.
It's incredible how quickly you run out of vocabulary and you just say what you mean.
Douchebag.
You know what it is? He's got a lot of trust in his comedic chops to
I have
come up with
so
something.
much
So
trust.
he'll shoot out a setup being like, it'll come. And then most times it's like, douche.
Yeah.
The only person I know that jumps out of a plane and knows they're going to grow a smell suit.
Yeah, I'm hoping that the parachute is also falling.
Yeah.
I can grab it and put it on. And then,
Yeah, it's not on you. You're like, oh, wait, it doesn't fall at the same rate as me.
yeah. I'm sure if I jump out of this plane, there will be also a falling parachute backpack.
I think a dude, like the biggest douche name you could think. I mean, it just would have to be like, fucking,
YKWD.
yeah. It's hard to think of like a douche. What was his J Piven? What is it?
How You Livin', Jay Piven.
Oof.
Okay.
Is that real?
I would be ride a bike with Mike, and it's just podcasting.
Fiend Dogs podcast for all the little fiend doggies out there. 808s and heartbreaks.
Yeah, just calling it 808s and heartbreaks.
I'd call it Donda.
And just have no good music on.
Nope.
Yeah, no, that'll stay.
Yeah, my
out.
podcast will have the exact same amount of beats as Kanye West's Donda does.
I haven't listened to the one with Jay-Z yet, though.
Oh,
I heard that one's good.
it's real disappointing.
Oh,
yeah,
is it?
because again, no beats. But if
Really?
you like someone singing over interlude music, that sounds like you're just waiting for the, all right, and here comes that beat.
Yeah.
Doesn't come.
I was saying this in the group
Never
chat.
comes.
I think in like a year or two, I'm going to re-listen to Donda.
You
And
said
be like,
5 years.
I said 2 years.
You said 5.
Okay.
Did you feel that
Hold
way
up.
about his last
Look
one,
it
his
up.
church one?
No.
Did you feel that way about the one before that?
What was the one before that?
Uh-huh.
No.
I guess not. Because
I think the last one that I really enjoyed. Oh, actually, the last one that I really enjoyed was Yay.
You said 2 years.
Yeah, which is what I'm saying.
I know.
What the fuck?
Oh, I admitted that I'm wrong, and you don't know how to.
You did not admit you were wrong.
I said you went 2 years.
You said 2 years.
Yeah, you did. Yeah, it was a fun way of you acknowledged that he was right, but you admitted no fault. You actually said it in a fun, accusatory manner, as if like, you see this?
Well,
you said 2 years.
I was trying to confuse him. I was trying to do that.
Did.
I think next time
him.
you have free time, you got to take your eyebrows to the side a little bit and have a little discussion with each other.
Oh, what? Can you give a little to Brendan?
Can you give a little to everybody? Yeah. Can you make sure you show what I'm thinking?
Yeah, let's give the eyebrows 5 milligrams of Valium each and just see.
All right. This is not the way I thought this podcast was going to launch, but sure.
Now that you don't have the parachute of Irish goodbye.
Yeah. All right, Brendan, what's the scenario here, pal?
Me.
Here's the scenario. This comes from Ash. And Ash said, she said, a question for the pod. If you were in a friend's wedding party and they had been annoying you, would you purposefully bring a +1 you thought would cause chaos, or someone who would keep you company better, assuming neither of the Mike's wives could make it as a +1?
How would you ruin it?
No, it's like, would you ruin it, or would you bring someone to just keep you company? Which I think is the answer to that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't ruin somebody's.
Well, they're really annoying.
But you're in the wedding?
You're in the wedding party.
Yeah, so obviously you're pretty close to this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, and, you know, Ian would have to find something to wear if you brought him.
Yeah.
You just bring Ian, have him just be like, yo, just smoke cigarettes near the altar.
Yeah. How about when Ian Finance left the reception when Casey Balsham's dad was making a big speech and crying, and Ian was going, I gotta go smoke. He couldn't fucking handle it.
Hey, does anybody want to come smoke?
We were all going, Ian, just give him some fucking time. It's her dad.
In
man.
fairness, it ran long.
It
was
run
an
long.
Apatowian speech.
It did run
Yeah.
long. Yeah, it was the funny people of wedding speeches. All right. Okay, this one.
No, I wouldn't intentionally bring somebody to ruin somebody's wedding.
You can't.
I would assume that person is being ultra annoying because a wedding is a stressful thing to put together, and give them a little bit of slack. I'd definitely get fucked up at their wedding. I've done that before where like somebody has annoyed me.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, I'm going to get extra drunk.
Yeah, you know what?
Now I'm your problem.
Yeah.
I'm the party's issue.
I completely understand that. That's like, okay, I'm not going to. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna get fucking hammered here.
Yeah.
That's what sucks about me not drinking, because now I'm getting invited to weddings and stuff. It's like I'm at the age where all my friends are getting married. I'm at the age where all my friends are getting married.
No, we got married a while
was
ago.
that?
You just weren't friends.
That was me. I know. I didn't go to either of your weddings.
Yeah.
I know, on purpose.
I'd take it. I wouldn't change a thing.
Oh my god.
I'd invite Nicole.
Cool. And Nicole would bring me to annoy you guys. All right. Let's do this one comes from the Crack House.
The Crack House.
The Crack House. You achieve fame and wealth beyond your wildest dreams, but you can only do hack material and pander to the audience. Are you doing it? Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
well,
I am. Because you can also, like, if you're doing, like, the pandering and all that shit, as much as no one will respect you or anything like that,
what is respect these days?
who gives a fuck anymore?
It's all about the kill. Go ahead, be a pander bear.
Yeah.
Obviously, I don't think we would, because I think there's a way to do it right now that would probably elicit at least a bit more of a response from certain groups.
Yeah.
You can polarize yourself and be the I'm championing this cause guy, and there's certain things that we could do to do that, but I don't feel like doing it.
Yeah, I mean, we could easily go down that road, I guess.
I don't think there's a way for me to, like, other people are better at doing it. I don't think there's a way for me to do it without making myself sick and likely everybody else being able to see through it.
Yeah, exactly.
I think comedy audiences are smarter than they've ever been. There's so much comedy.
I disagree vehemently with that, but I think a lot of people think they're smarter consumers, but I think and granted there are, but I think massive amounts, once you get into a big space where you're selling theaters and whatever, there's not a single chance that all those people are smart.
Yeah.
I don't mean even smart. I mean like comedy savvy.
I want them to be.
Like they're comedy savvy, like comedy experienced people.
They're savvy with what you tell them. Like, there's people that are selling a lot of tickets that, like, the audience is great. I'm not trashing them as, like, whatever. They're not necessarily savvy, but they are keyed into what the person is doing.
What do you mean?
So they assume they're savvy because they're just listening to whoever their dear leader. Like, Schultz's audience, I wouldn't say across the board is brilliant.
No.
I would say they're smart, relatively comedy savvy in the sense that they like him.
Yeah.
What else does that mean? In terms of what is their other taste. Like, I don't know. So I don't know if they like Schultz and then they're also like deep cut guys that really like a lot of good comedy. Deep cut people. They just probably like Schultz and then Brendan Schaub or whatever.
I do think they have a great fan. I do think Schultz specifically has a great fan. Those fan base, they're comedy fans. You know that because when you go to New York Comedy Club and him or Akash are on the lineup, you're like, oh, this is like. Yeah. You feel like you can push it a little more without them getting like sensitive or weird. Like they give you more slack.
Yeah, and they also hopping on what you just said, they don't just turn off when he's gone.
Yes.
I've been there where it's happened.
Oh, really?
And not me. I'm not saying that I went on stage and dropped an egg after.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, yeah, of course. Like I'm saying when it gets that big across the board, it can't be.
You're not, especially, I mean.
I'm just saying, this is for anybody. Anybody that reaches that level. Kevin Hart's audience are not 100% smart.
No.
Dane Cook's audience obviously was never 100% smart. Even Louis. Obviously.
Yeah.
100% of his audience wasn't smart once it got that fucking big.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, good shot.
I got it.
There becomes like sections of people that relate to you for different reasons and think you might be championing something that you're not.
Yeah.
Does that make sense? What I just said?
Yes, it does. And
this wasn't like me being like his audience stinks.
I still think
they're so big that it's impossible to be 100.
I'm just saying. I still think that comedy fans. There's way more comedy fans who are into more comedians than just the most popular three. Like even when Dane Cook was out, it was like people would just watch. Like Dane Cook and any other like arena act people, and it's like now there's so much way to be just from social media alone. I guarantee like most people could name 10 comedians, even if 4 of them are TikTok people who don't actually do stand up on stage but write comedian in their bio. Like there's people who can name more comedians now that are doing it than or at least have more taste than just
but I also think a lot of the popular ones stink. So I think really, really popular. So in my opinion, that doesn't make a smart comedy savvy audience. That means that it's just people that are attracted to something that stinks.
Well, you heard it here first. I think you guys are great. He thinks you're dumb. Come see me on the road. Don't worry about Mike. He thinks you're dumb and stupid and doesn't want you there anyway.
Clearly not.
He hates all your favorite comedians: Schultz, Kevin Hart, Louis, Burr. He hates them all.
Yeah.
Do you not know what I'm talking about?
No, I know what you're talking
understand
about.
What I'm talking about.
There's no way that the vast majority of
I'm not talking about good comedians that we all know and love. I'm talking about popular comedians that we all know and don't respect and talk quite a bit about. I don't know why everybody thinks this is a foreign fucking concept.
I would like to meet someone who's like, who I fucking love? Andrew Schultz and Greg Rogel.
Yeah, exactly. And Greg Rogel is fucking great.
He's fucking hilarious.
But do you think that audience knows who that is? You know what I mean?
If he's been on Schultz's podcast.
Yeah, but
no, because there are people that came out to see me in Spokane, through other avenues, and then asked me if I knew Schultz, and I was like, "Yeah, I've been on his show a couple times, did inside jokes, all that," and they're like, "What?" And it's like, it's great. Like if you're recurring, they'll know you obviously, but it doesn't. One thing isn't going to be like, "Oh yeah."
I have no idea what the question was.
The question was, would we be Hack and Pander if it meant
yes?
And I think the answer here is yes, but I don't think we could.
I don't think it would work
because Yeah, I mean, sometimes you have that thought where you're like, maybe I'll just go up and fucking say some hacky shit just to see if I can do it. Like,
I would think way more to do that on social media than on stage.
Oh,
because stage, it's like, again, it feels like where if you get on stage and you're like, have you guys ever had airplane food? Like, people would be like, what's happening?
But honestly,
but if you did it on TikTok, people are like, oh, it's ironic because there's music to it. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like you can almost package hack in like a gleaming, edited way.
It's a very complicated fucking business we're in, all right?
It's not.
It is, you fuck. It's not.
Okay. Brendan's playing industry games later. I'll tell you about that after the show.
I am playing industry
He's taking a
Like
gig he doesn't want to do because he thinks
Monopoly.
it'll help him.
I don't think it'll help me. I mean, yeah, I guess.
You said it. You said,
exactly.
and I quote, "It's an industry move. That's why I'm taking this show."
Oh, explain.
No, well, I can't say it.
I'm gonna-
Patreon.com/ScenarioPod.
Sweat my ass off. Let's keep talking about this. Speaking of douchebags.
That's funny for just you and
Jesus
me.
Christ. I was talking about myself.
I wish I
Okay.
knew.
This comes from James Niblet. And it's a long one, fellas. Okay,
All
so
right.
pay
Well-
attention.
Let's see you read.
I can read.
I'm making this flip.
Can we isolate that and use it as a drop or something, Nicole? Brendan adamantly being like, I can read.
I can read, I think.
I think I can.
Longtime listener, first time slipping into the DMs. Have a hypothetical for you. Okay. If you were given the option to go back to being if you were given the option to going what are you doing?
He's getting a water.
I
What
know.
are you doing?
I
Why aren't
stopped
you
and I
reading?
needed to acknowledge that I stopped because
Because otherwise
People
Otherwise
think
it
you
would've
couldn't read,
yes.
which you are proving.
I'll show you how snake-like I can be. If you were given the option to go back to being your 10-year-old self, except with your current mind and knowledge, i.e., you would be an adult in your 10-year-old body, cue canon to mention the film Big in reverse, would you? Things to consider. Could you become a child prodigy in academics? Would you be seen as a child prodigy in sports? Or would your child body stop you from being able to do things your adult mind wants to do? Conditions. You would be treated as a kid and no one would believe you're an adult. So no sex. That's not true. No booze, also not true. Party favors until you come of age.
That's fine. But I would frame people with pedophilia if I had my current brain and 10-year-old
Of course.
body. I would run in ass naked and have somebody as a witness.
Yeah. I mean, I would fucking. Speaking of all these famous comics, I'd threaten to get them arrested for pedophilia if they didn't do something for me.
Is that what happened to Leah?
As a 10-year-old?
Now,
Yeah.
Do something for your 10-year-old career?
I would be we would all be amazing comics.
Well, I thought
it's hard being a 10-year-old.
Yeah, I do think that it would be good. It would behoove us to get on social media and do jokes on social media. But my brain didn't even go there. My brain went to, and I think, Cannon, you're going to really like this, is 10-year-old knowing what you know now, be the fucking youngest professional poker player. And it's because nobody's taking you seriously at 10. They're going to be like, come on, kid. If his eyes are just barely above the table and it's just his chin's on the felt and he's
Could you imagine?
Can't legally play.
Could you imagine a 10-year-old just squeezing cards and just shuffling chips at the table while making a decision and just being like
all in?
Yeah.
That would be cool. That's so intimidating.
That would be like Stu Unger. Do you know who Stu Unger is?
I know the name.
I talk about him every once in a while, but he's like one of the most interesting cases of professional gambler ever. He grew up in New York during like the time when the mob ran the entire city. He was a prodigy at gin rummy to the point where when he was like 8, the mob would bring him in to play top level players and take all their fucking money.
Yeah.
He could memorize a 6-deck shoe as they turned over the cards like this and tell you what the last card was. And he was a brilliant no-limit Texas Hold'em player that won 2 World Series of Poker bracelets back-to-back. Also did enough cocaine that the entire middle of his nose was eroded entirely.
That's
and
awesome.
he had a single.
That's him on the right?
Yeah. Single,
Wow, he
Oh
looks
my
like
God.
Michael Jackson if he combed his hair forward.
He was like 21
Oh my god.
He looks so
awful.
fucking
He's
young.
for sure
That's
dead,
awesome.
Yeah,
right?
he's definitely dead.
He looks
He was
awful.
also like he was autistic before autism. Like they didn't know this type of.
They just thought it
brain.
was like a superpower.
Yeah, they thought he was a genius. I mean, he was a genius, but he also wasn't completely obviously had no social skills. Like he got married, he had a kid, like all this shit.
Yeah.
But this guy, 8 years old, playing mobsters in gin rummy.
Oh my god.
Could you imagine that shit?
Dude, the past is so cool.
Brendan Sagalow, former history major.
Let me
Dude,
rap with you
the
guys.
past is so cool.
Let me rap with you guys.
I turn the chair around.
Yeah,
Hey.
split your scrotum. You're like, ah!
So you would play poker, I guess, and all.
I guess so. I mean, that wasn't even my thought. I've long said, and I think my physical limitations caught up with me. But if my current head was in my 10-year-old body, I would just be, I guess, even better of a child sports star. But I'd still eventually fizzle out as is. But are we doing that now? Like 2021, we're 10 years old with our brain, or are we?
No, you're going back in time with the knowledge you have now.
So we wouldn't even be able to like vlog or create any type of influence.
Well, you could get on there early.
Yeah.
It's super early, but I wouldn't
But
be 10.
even-
I wouldn't
No,
be 10.
it'd be
In
like-
2005,
it'd be like-
I'd be 20 years old. So it's over. What's the point?
Yeah, I know exactly what I would do. Wait, so we are going back to the date when we were 10.
Yeah. So it would
1990
have to be, for me, it would have to be
or
poker
2000.
or comedy, because otherwise there's no benefit if I do sports. Like
There's none, 'cause your body's gonna catch
Yeah, my
up with
body is going to catch up. But with this, by the time I turn 20 and 05 and YouTube, comes out, then we immediately have the information and knowledge to take advantage of this new thing.
Yep.
It's like
An
that's
11-year-old
a different
knowing what an
story.
SEO is like the most valuable fucking
Sucking
thing.
erections off.
Yeah, sucking erections off. Hashtag. Hashtag sucking erections off. I would also like start a podcast. Like I would do WTF.
Dude,
I think.
Can I tell you something weird? So I went back to like 2011 and 2012 and listened to 2 episodes of Bobby's podcast, because I remember being like a fan, like when I first started comedy and just listening. And I listened to both the first appearance of Dan Soder, like it's Wolverine in the Marvel universe.
Whoa,
and the first
cool.
appearance of Louis J. Gomez. And it was, my nose almost bled. It was such a mind fuck of like, I remember listening to this and it made sense as things progressed where they went, but listening to it now and going back and seeing the full scope of things,
my
what it
God.
became.
How was it? Was
It's-
Lewis like nervous and quiet and polite?
No,
voice-
he was more or less who he is, but he was like only doing hammer fisting. He was a part of Bobby's network. He didn't have anything of his own. Like it was very interesting. And Dan was more like he had a day job. He wasn't even full time. He did voices, like all that stuff. They were both. You could tell why they are who they are. They're both. What are you doing? But
And you could tell why we are who we are.
No, keep talking.
That's my Dan Soder impression.
it's good. It's deaf guy getting out of bed.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It's deaf guy waking up. Good morning. Yeah, so that's very interesting too.
Yeah, it's kind of cool. I recommend people do that.
Yeah.
It's cool.
And now we're paving our own way.
That's right.
So when people listen back to our first episodes, they're going to be like, whoa, so crazy.
Yeah, you could hear the first time I said I wasn't going to smoke blunts.
This comes from like 4 years
Deep
ago.
inside the rabbit hole.
Yeah.
Episode
I'm
1.
done,
I'm
guys.
done with blunts. Your voice is higher.
Yeah.
No, I'm just.
I'm going to have a kid someday, you know?
There's a conspiracy theory that smoking blunts make your hair grow gray. He's like, no way.
You guys are idiots.
I don't know if this is a question, but I'm just going to read it. This comes from Aaron Regalis. Final Destination 2! Exclamation mark. I am 37, and to this day, I will not drive behind a log truck or anything like
Yeah.
that. I also freak out if a bottle falls on the driver's side because, and I do this too, because clearly it will get under the brake and it will kill me and my kids. LOL.
Yes. Not a question, but great.
Oh yeah.
Was just talking about this movie the other day and how it stuck with our generation more than most movies. Okay.
Well,
yeah,
I
so that wasn't
remember,
a question.
speaking of Irish Goodbye, I remember early in an early episode, I was walking to like for a while there, the show was like what happened to us on the way to the to the studio.
Yeah.
And I remember seeing one of those fucking fire escape ladders fall and inches away from somebody, like inches from
Bro.
them.
That's
Yeah.
how they die in Final Destination.
And I was just like,
Two.
oh my fucking, that was the most horrifying thing. So now I don't walk under those ever. Like similarly, I probably don't go behind log.
And you said you
But you've never seen the movie.
you've never seen the movies.
No, but I get the gist.
Bro, that fucking fire escape scene
Right
is
through his
like
eyeball.
right through his fucking eyes.
I'm good. I don't need.
But what?
No, it's cool.
We don't have more? I thought there was a...
That was it. That was it. That was it for the questions. Thank you, everybody, for sending questions to the Instagram. And
yeah, again, that's available at here'sthescenario.com, the YouTube, the iTunes, anywhere you stream podcasts. All of it is at here'sthescenario.com. And if you're enjoying this show, and you want to support us and get the added bonus of a ton of extra content, go to patreon.com/scenariopod. We do 2 bonus episodes of podcasting per week.
Yeah.
We got $5 tier, $10 tier, and up. I mean, probably the most content you're ever going to get for $5 tier. All of our YouTube stuff that we put out individually goes to the $5 tier early, and then we have exclusive video stuff and beyond for $10 and up. The video is looking great. The audio is incredible. The editing is outrageous. Nicole has absolutely crushed it with the openings to our episodes. People are literally fisting themselves for the blunts with the boys.
Yeah, Nicole, we got somebody that was like, this intro is fucking killer. Like, whoever says that? Nobody ever says that. So give yourself a little pat on the back, douchebag.
Yeah, feel good about yourself.
I do want to say that Leslie Degnan6 has come in saying that Brendan has been at odds with that mosquito for like 2 years. He's been talking about it across. I think you were talking about it on the stupid little podcast you had started talking.
Dude, yes, me and that mosquito.
Are you scratching?
I have another bite. When I see that mosquito, I don't kill it because I go, I hate you, but god damn, do I respect you.
Yeah.
We need each other.
Are we gonna have 2 clips?
No, we're not doing this again.
About a mosquito. Fucking A. Yeah, so
You're a freak. Like me. Brendan just getting around his apartment. Just turn into a mosquito.
yeah, so join the Patreon, man. You do not want to miss this next episode of Mike Takes Edibles. I was a guest again, and I had a breakdown that gave me the yips for 4 days after.
It's pretty great. Sponsored by The Rock, also. Not the movie, the actual Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
Yeah. So let's go to the big book of if here. If you can ensure that your children never have one experience that you've ever had, what would it be? And I'm going to go first and say when I was molested.
Guess next question. I don't know. I mean, where do we go from there?
I think I was kind of molested, yeah.
Let's dive in.
When I
We've
was...
talked about this many times.
Have we talked about this?
Yeah.
I haven't heard it.
Yes, you have.
When I was younger...
Well, apparently I blacked it out.
You just want it to be on iTunes now.
That's right.
Is this the clip?
Yeah.
When I was younger, this was the night before the Thanksgiving Day parade.
Oh.
Back in 1990 something, back when the parades were fucking dope.
He remembers because they said if you unbutton your pants, we'll let you hold Snoopy.
Snoopy was the man's penis. Snoopy was the name of the man's penis.
Or so I found out.
Oh, he painted his shaft white and the head black, like Snoopy's nose.
Yeah, you actually have to hold Bart Simpson with your tongue.
Come here, buddy, and nuzzle Snoopy's nose.
No, I was laying in bed with my older step cousin. In our grandparents'
I didn't know you could have a step cousin.
Well, my grandfather divorced my grandma and married another old bitch, and she had a family of her own.
Gotcha.
So that's just freewheeling. That's not anything.
Step cousin?
Yeah, that's just a lady who's gonna die soon's family.
I think it's like a fourth cousin.
Yeah, they are not related.
She did die, and it was one of those things where they were gonna like pull the plug on her, so everybody came to see her at the hospital. And my dad is so bad with handling people with death because he's such a fucking goofball. He's like the Pillsbury Doughboy.
Oh, he's you.
Yeah, he's me,
Okay.
but he's me, but with money. And he said to her, and I overheard him. He said something like "take it easy" or something like that. He was
Hey,
like,
have a good one.
yeah. He said like "have a good one" or "take it easy" or "you'll be," something where.
Enjoy the Rainbow Bridge.
Yeah, it was really weird. I was busting his balls about it after, and he was like, I don't know what to say to people on their deathbed. I was like, it's
Yeah.
hard.
See you on the other side.
Yeah.
That's all you can say.
Hey, I'll see you on the other side.
Yeah.
Hey,
Heaven doesn't exist.
tell Hitler I said hi.
That's the only thing to say.
What a fun pull. We were going nose diving towards the ground, and mid molestation story pulled out and told a dad story.
So keep going.
So
We don't have to.
So I'm fine with it because it was like a minor molestation,
A scrimmage.
a scrimmage in molestations.
Yeah.
So we're laying in bed together
Exhibition.
and we're just talking, and then we started talking about our penises. And my cousin, who's like 4 or 5 years older than me, was like,
He was 18.
he was 29.
Yeah.
He was like, "What does your penis taste like?" He was like,
my
"How dare you
God.
look at your phone while I'm opening up about a molestation, you fucking asshole? What, did you just get the timer to post, you fucking douchebag?"
I've never. No, even worse. He's just texting.
I was in bed with my cousin. Ding, 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 ding. Got to post on TikTok.
You literally said, "What does his penis? What does your penis taste like?" And Mike went,
It's not. I just ran out of interest.
Either way, I'll finish it fast for you.
That's what he said.
No, my cousin was like, "What does your penis look like?" And I was like, "It looks like, a regular penis or whatever."
Yeah.
And he was like, "Let me see it." And I went, "I'm not whipping it out." And he went, "Whip it out and let me touch it, or I'll whip mine out and you touch mine." And I went, and I forgot what we did, but something happened. He's back on his phone. And
Lucas is smashing on the intercom. He's freaking out. He's texting me 9 times, so I texted Nicole. I hope she got it.
anyway, so it was either I touched him or he touched me, but it happened. So
yeah, you don't know who initiated first?
he definitely initiated first, but I think I pulled out my penis and then he touched it.
Yeah.
And I was like, this seems like the less gay.
Yeah.
What is he doing now?
You off.
He was trying to be a cop, and now I think he's a something else. I don't know. I only see him like once every fucking 10 years.
Do you ever talk about it?
Nope, and I never will.
Just on iTunes.
Just publicly. So,
Well, I listened, Brendan, and I'm
Yes.
sorry for your trauma.
it's all right. So what? That's
What
my,
happened?
That's my answer. The molestation.
That's what you would not have your kid go through.
Yeah, I don't want my kid to be molested. I don't know about you guys,
I don't want my son to fist fight his dad.
because he'd win.
Probably eventually, but I also just don't. If I could avoid that in his life, I feel like I've at least upgraded.
I don't want my son to spit in my face.
Man, we're kind of fucked up, dude.
Either that or our parents are.
Everybody's fucked up, man.
Yeah.
All right. What a nice little. We got to do something.
Convoy on everybody's fucked up.
Yeah,
Everyone but us.
All right. If you could eat one food in any quantity for the rest of your life with no ill effects whatsoever, what food would you choose?
Carvel ice cream cake. Bye. Bye. Now, extra crunchies on the side. Get out and leave me.
Get out and leave me in this room.
Yeah, but we're gonna
with
come
my
out
crunchies.
and my dick's gonna be blue from that little frosting on the top that stains your skin.
That's how Brendan's cousin rests his penis.
Yeah.
It's like, what? It's a cake.
Yeah. It's the whale.
It's Fudgy
It's
the
Fudgy
cock.
Fudgy the cock.
My cock gets fudgy.
It'll get even fudgier if you let me.
Yeah. Put it in my ass. Get real fudgy.
What I meant.
And me too. Before you said your thing and you said your thing, that was my whole.
And me too.
Hashtag me too.
What about you?
Probably spicy chicken combo from Wendy's. If I could get that every day for 3 meals of my life, every day.
With no ill effects.
No ill effects. No weight gain. No heart problems. No feeling like shit.
Yeah, no even feeling like
If I could feel like I just ate a salad after eating a spicy chicken combo, I would give untold amount of money for that.
I would do the same thing, but with a ribeye steak.
I feel like I could actually.
It's a lot of eating, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, but there's no effects.
Yeah, but
Yeah, but you can't
it's just
eat it
the
on the
amount of
run.
time that you have to sit there and cut and put
Yeah,
down.
you're like a junkyard dog.
I can eat a ribeye in 10 minutes.
I'll pay for one if you can.
I can.
Okay, and if you don't, you have to pay for that and mine.
All right.
Yeah,
I'll do it.
deal.
Dude, we should do a
For the
steak-
Patreon.
Patreon. We should do a steak dinner. The one we were going to do for our bird dogs payout.
Oh, yeah, that's right. That never happened.
Oh, yeah. They emailed me, too.
Oh, good. Well, we got them because they tried to pull a fast one on us, and we were like, fuck you.
Wow.
Yeah,
They did the right thing eventually.
they did. They did.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Still wouldn't wear them.
I hope they...
I love those. I wear those shorts all the time.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Bird dogs. Hit me up. I'm waiting. If you had to eliminate one season permanently, which would go? Spring, summer, autumn, winter? I'm going to say winter. I fucking love fall and winter. I really do. I love Christmas. I love all the way up until New Year's Day. And then
course.
January, February, March, and April can all suck my fat dick. So I would get rid of winter, I think.
Why'd you lose so much confidence after you said that? Can suck my dick. What'd you think we were gonna start applauding?
Yeah.
I was hoping, yeah.
I don't know. I'm starting to hate summer, to be honest.
Summer is
It's just
so hot.
so hot. I'd rather be cold than sweltering. Because cold, you can always put more layers on. Hot, you can only take so many layers off.
Yeah, and then you can't take off your skin. I've tried.
You can. Yours
Yeah.
falls off.
Yeah.
Like a snake. like it's Afghanis trying to hit the ride. Oh, Jesus Christ. Don't flip that, please, for the love of God.
Yeah, maybe summer. I mean, winter does suck when it sucks, but summer is so hot.
Yeah, well, without winter, you're
I
not
would-
getting that snowfall.
I just would much rather have summer. I know it's probably a bit more uncomfortable, and I don't know. I just like winter is so legitimately depressing for me emotionally, where it's so bleak and gray, especially when there's nothing to celebrate. Those just for cold for no reason months, get the fuck out of
fuck
here,
off.
dude.
Yeah, that's January, February, March sucks ass.
Yeah.
But that November, December though, when you get because when it's snowing outside, here's why winter's got everything. Because if it's snowing, you can go skiing, you can go snowboarding. If you're like, but I miss swimming, indoor pool, indoor jacuzzi.
Yeah.
you can go outdoor jacuzzi in the
In the
snow.
winter? Oh,
Let's go, dude.
Fuck off.
Dude, I
is
did
so
that last
tight.
time.
Machine.
I did that last time. We should do that with
For
the
a
winter
lunch
comes.
with the boys.
No,
Get
what
a,
we should
do a ski trip and then stay over. Get a hot tub outside in the
Yes.
snow. We get a hot tub.
Yes.
And then you
yes,
soak
yes,
after
yes,
a day
yes,
of boarding, and
Yeah.
it feels so good.
Either that or we should all get a romantic room at one of those Poconos resorts we were forced to perform at and bathe in a heart tub together.
The word "we" were forced to perform at,
Yes.
I think, is
You
wrong.
guys haven't
about
done
that.
those? You didn't do those?
I've never
Yeah.
done the hot tub ones.
No,
Oh,
I've never
yeah.
even been offered, but I don't know if I would even do it after hearing
You would. The money was fine.
The money was
It-
great.
Yeah, it was fine. But it was everybody that tell you to dress up, and then somebody would have like an eagle on fire flying through an American flag cut off T-shirt in the front row with like, a fucking mullet koozie over there, Bud
Yeah.
Heavy, and it's like, what the fuck am I tap dancing for these?
Yeah, someone in the front row just has that ox helmet
Yeah,
that dude had.
It looked like everybody was like America's Chernobyl, like just a bunch of fucking cleft-palated Mongos from the middle of Pennsylvania.
I don't even know what we were talking about. Oh yeah, we should go on a team fucking snowboarding trip, right?
Well, we have, but we should do an overnight one.
Yeah,
Go up to
let's do it-
Vermont.
let's do it over.
Now that you know how,
Yeah, now that I fucking know how and I love it.
It's
We'll go-
so zen, bro.
It's the end.
dude, we'll go up to go up to Killy, little Killington action, Vermont. Those mountains are like 3 times the size of what we were at.
Wow. Fuck.
Nicole,
Yes.
Lucas, would you come?
Yeah.
Hell
Sweet.
yeah, dude.
All right.
Fuck yeah.
If you can get a big Airbnb, crazy. Like
Yeah.
35 minutes away from the mountain, we're cooking.
Yeah, I hope we're all still friends in the winter.
We'll see.
What are
There's
you
a lot of
planning on
content
doing?
that we're going to be putting out between now and then, so shit would really set on
yeah.
fire.
I hope my plan is still in effect in the winter. Should I do ASMR?
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Oh.
I hate that. That's my ASMR. I don't care for ASMR.
Oh, gross when it's not me.
I just think of
dude,
Maggie
right?
Simpson.
Sounds like you're fingering a chubby wet girl. Just
Ew. Oh my God.
I'm no longer having fun.
Yeah, I guess
question.
we're not going to be friends in the winter. Last question. Thank you, everybody, again, for listening to the show. Please tell your friends. Leave us a review. That's fucking huge, man.
Yeah.
The more reviews.
This is it. This is what we're doing now. Irish
Yep.
Goodbye is no mas. Thank you, everybody who listened. This is the project.
Okay, last question. If you were going to initiate a new charity, what would it be? What would be its mission, and who would it benefit?
I mean, if it could benefit me, that would be great.
Yeah, the
human fund.
I believe we
personal
have
fund.
launched a charity, and it's called patreon.com/scenariopod. We are digital buskers,
fuck
baby.
Yeah, baby. That's the show. Thank you, everybody. Tell your friends.
We love you.
Bye. Here's the Scenario is Mike Feeney, Mike Cannon, and Brendan Sagalow. Executive producers Robert Kelly and Matt Kleinschmidt for the Laugh Button Podcast. For more information about the show, visit here'sthescenario.com.
The scenario.